Hi everyone. So since today is National Coming Out Day, I wanted to do the fourth part of my coming out series. And so today, October 11th, is a really important day for me. National Coming Out Day is a day for people like me to really be our authentic selves. Because when you're not being authentic, you're not truly living. There's a difference between living and surviving. I think before I came out, I was kind of more surviving, since I was kind of so worried about hiding this part of me, about suppressing my sexuality. But now that I'm out to a lot of people, I can really start truly living as my authentic self. And to quote from the movie Love, Simon, I don't have to hold my breath as much anymore. And I've come out to quite a few people in my college already, and they've been totally fine with it. I even came out to one girl at my college, and she said that she has a girlfriend and that she doesn't label herself. And so it was really cool that I could relate to her about that. And in my dorm room, I actually put one of those rainbow safe space stickers on the outside. I kind of drew one myself, so that to kind of give people an idea that I might not be straight, and to let people know that anyone's welcome in my dorm. Wearing masks, of course, because of the virus. And in my room, actually, I hung up some of the coming out texts that I got from my friends and my stepsister, and I put them in the shape of a heart, so that every time I wake up, I can see all the support that I've gotten, and it's really nice. And I'm actually in a friend group in college. We call ourselves the Hot Mess Express, and I'm out to all of them. And we really just embrace each other's insecurities. And we can pretty much talk to each other about anything, which is really nice. And also, my college, I've become friends with this guy named Leo. And when I came out to him, he actually gave me a handshake and said that our friendship won't be diminished in the slightest. And so that was really cool. And the reason I got the courage to come out to him already is because he told me that he's being involved in the Laramie Project. And so my college is putting on that play, which I think is really great. Granted, it'll be a little different because of the whole COVID restrictions, but I think it's really cool that my college is still being able to put that on. And yeah, so it's been really nice meeting other LGBTQ plus people in my college, because I've definitely done lots of research on being LGBTQ plus. I've also lived it, and I've seen so many coming out videos and LGBTQ plus TED Talks. But of course, I'm not an expert on it. So it's nice hearing the stories directly from other people in the community. It's nice being educated about people of all different walks of life. So it's been really nice meeting so many people in my college. And I actually came out to one of my classes. So I'm taking this class called the Sociology of Body and Health. And this class dives into sexuality a little bit. And so I felt confident enough to come out to the class. We had an introductory forum page where we could post anything we wanted about ourselves. So I told them about my yearbook quote. And yeah, and we actually, in that class, we actually discussed already how certain people are aware of their identities more. And so, to give an example, to connect to the coronavirus, people with lung diseases are more aware of the fact that they could get COVID, whereas healthier people are not so much aware of that. And so that analogy relates to how being LGBTQ plus like myself, I think about my sexuality every day, because I'm in the minority, whereas straight people wouldn't necessarily think about their heterosexuality often. So when we learned about that, I could definitely relate to that. And also, my college, I attended an LGBTQ plus welcoming Zoom call, where I could get to see other faculty and other students who are either LGBTQ plus themselves or allies. So it's been really nice seeing people that I can connect with. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I found out that the academic advisor at my college is not straight. So it's going to be really helpful as we navigate the next 4 years together. And then again, not every single person is going to be accepting. There was someone who commented on my coming out video that I should repent my sin, and that I should go to Jesus. And in the past, a comment like that would have definitely bothered me. But now I honestly just shrug it off, because I've learned to care a lot less about what other people think of me. And I just want to focus on what makes me happy. To give an analogy, I love pineapple on pizza, and some of my friends think I'm absolutely crazy for it. They think I'm so weird for liking pineapple on pizza. but it really doesn't matter what they think. I'll continue to eat it and I'll continue to be happy. And these homophobic instances, they don't represent everyone. As humans, I think we kind of try to, we often amplify anecdotes without really realizing it. We think like one minor thing happens and we think it kind of represents people as a whole. But in reality, these anecdotes, they're just small stories. And so we just have to recognize them for what they are. And a couple of years ago, if I had the option to take a pill to make me straight, I probably would have taken it, but I honestly wouldn't do that now, because being non-straight has opened my mind up to other issues as well that people are going through. And so it's really allowed me to empathize with others. And as kind of weird as this sounds, it's kind of nice for us to go through struggles, because I think we come out of them better people than we were before they happened. And allows us to connect with others. I will say that one of the hardest parts of not being straight is that when we meet new people, we kind of feel the need to evaluate how accepting they are so that we know how to act in front of them. Like, whenever I see people who I'm not out to, I'm kind of like always wondering, like, oh, are they homophobic? Would they accept me if I come out to them? But at college, I don't think I'll need to worry about that too much, because I'm a lot happier where I am, and I think people are just generally more accepting of LGBTQ plus people in college since we're better educated. Yeah, I won't feel the need to act like to try to not act like too gay at college. I still am a bit anxious though, because at any moment it's possible that a family member could text me saying that they found my coming out series, because it's on YouTube, it is public. And to reiterate, I said this before, I genuinely do think they will be accepting. It's just that coming out to your family is one of the biggest milestones for any non-straight person. So I've had a few milestones so far. I came out to my first person August 8th, 2019, my first guy friend exactly a year ago, and my stepsister October 12th, 2019. But to come out to one of your parents, or even an uncle and aunt, your grandmother, is just such a big milestone. And so that's why I haven't found the courage to do that yet. But I do want to do it decently soon. It's not something that I really want to anymore. And besides, I'll be turning 18 in just a couple of weeks. So I think once I turn 18, I'm going to become even more confident with myself being technically an adult. And I also want to share some of the other LGBTQ plus influencers in my life. So I've mentioned before Caleb Scott. He's one of my favorite musical artists. He's openly gay, and his songs relate a lot to his stories. Like his song No Matter What, it basically tells his coming out story. It's such an incredible, relatable song. And he actually recently did a performance to advocate mental health awareness, and I'll put a link to that in the description. It was really powerful. And another openly gay singer, Brian Justin Crum, he was on America's Got Talent, season 11 in 2016, and he made it all the way to 4th place. And what's really awesome about him is the fact that America continued to vote him through all the way to 4th place, despite him being open about his sexuality, shows how accepting America was. The fact that they were willing to have an openly out LGBTQ plus person being the top 5 is pretty awesome. And some other influencers, I can't believe I haven't mentioned them yet, but ASAP Science. Greg and Mitch, they're a couple, and they make some really awesome STEM videos, and I'm really into STEM, so they're definitely very influential for me. Just like any musical artists who make songs just about being authentic, being true to who you are. I pretty much like any of those songs. It's I recently did covers on my channel of Scars to Your Beautiful and Who You Are. And so, yeah, those are some good songs. And so in between my last coming out video in my series and this video, I've had some more memories from my childhood come back into my head. I'm going to share more of these in future videos, but there is one that I want to mention today because I think it has kind of an important lesson behind it, especially for National Coming Out Day. So to give a little bit of context first, so my parents got divorced when I was in 3rd grade. So then they moved about a mile apart, and my dad actually got a roommate when I was in the 4th grade. And he's a pretty nice guy, but he did say something one day that kind of got to me. So sophomore year, my dad actually asked me if I was gay in front of his roommate. And when I didn't respond, his roommate said that I was confused. And telling an LGBTQ plus person that they're confused is honestly just not a good thing to say to an LGBTQ plus person. And the reason for that is that confusion implies that there's something wrong with you. But I don't think there's anything wrong with taking the time to really figure out who you are, since you shouldn't feel pressured to label yourself so early. Especially sophomore year. I was maybe 15 when my dad asked me about my sexuality. And so if you're not straight yourself and someone calls you confused, please just know that they're wrong for saying that, and that only you have the right to claim our identity. I think in society, we sometimes find the need to kind of assert other people's identities for them, but it's really not good for us to do that. It really takes away from people's individuality. And also advice, if you're out there watching this video, struggling with your sexuality, I encourage you to just tell one person about it. It could be a friend. If you're comfortable, it could be a family member or a teacher. You could even post a comment on someone else's coming out video, or you could email me if you want. I'll put my email in the description. Because when you tell one person, it's just a really nice feeling knowing that someone else knows. But of course, you should tell someone who you think will be accepting, like when I told my first person last year. And note that we often make coming out seem like a huge deal in our heads, but in reality, it's usually not as big a deal as we think. Granted, there's some exceptions, but from my experience at least, when I tell people, they always react positively, at least for me. Everyone's experience is different, so of course, if you're not comfortable telling anyone, I totally get that. But I just encourage you to come out to one person, and it'll probably go better than you expect. I also advise you to join the Human Rights Campaign. It's a large LGBTQ plus organization devoted to equality, and I joined it and subscribed to their emails. So that way you can kind of get involved. And through those emails, I found out that Justice Ruth Ginsburg passed away, which was kind of sad because she's been a big advocate for LGBTQ plus rights. But I did a piano cover for her on my channel on the song Be a Light, because in a world full of hate, she was a light, as the song lyrics go. And I think that wraps up part 4. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you're struggling with your sexuality out there, please know that you're not alone. You can always talk to me if you need to. Thank you.